What else is in the transfer notebook?
Well, actually, we could start with Chelsea.
You should start with whoever you want. It's your notebook.
He won't let it go, will he?
Because their policy in recent seasons, obviously, was to loan out their better young players. The likes of Conor Gallagher, who went to Palace last season, did well there. Armando Broja, 9 goals at Southampton. It looked like Levi Colwill probably would be heading out on loan. There's up to half a dozen clubs in the Premier League chasing him. But because, as we've already talked about, they're struggling to get defensive targets, that his suitors are expecting him now to stay at Stamford Bridge and maybe be given the chance to push for a place in the first team, certainly from within. John Terry, who's been a bit of a mentor to Levi Colwill, is pushing his claims. And the same with Broja. That bid that West Ham put in was never actually formally rejected, I don't think. It was almost just ignored. And Thomas Tuchel will give Broja the opportunity to prove that he can be that number 9 that Chelsea are looking for. I think the onus is to get some of the bigger earners off the wage bill. The likes maybe of GoloKanté, certainly Timo Werner, I think, is available for transfer. And Ross Barkley, as well, as we talked about yesterday, could well end up back at Everton. Is that the right way to do it? Keep the young talent and cut the wage bill in other areas?
I wouldn't get rid of Kanté. I'd keep him and I'd
He's
sign
only
him.
got a year
He's only
left
got a year
on his
left.
contract.
I'd give him another contract. I know he's had injury problems, but when he's fit, when he's playing, he's amazing. So it would be the players that, the Batshuayi, the Ross Barkley, and those type of players that
I think Batshuayi will go.
Is Baba Ruckman still on the roster? I think he is. But Baggioko's still officially a Chelsea player, isn't he? Or is he now gone out to AC Milan on a more permanent deal? I don't know.
Emerson as well.
But he's still there and he's competing because
Kennedy?
Alonso is one of those who wants to leave, and the Chelsea might well accept that he can go for a transfer fee. But in order for that to happen, they need to make sure they've got cover for Ben Chilwell. Emerson might end up being that player.
But do you think most Chelsea fans would be in favour of Colwill and Broja staying in-house and being given an opportunity in the first team?
I don't think Chelsea want to play with a number 9. I think they want to play with a 9/false 9. As a result of that, I think Broja could be an option off the bench, but I don't know if Broja will be happy with that.
Has he played pre-season, Broja?
No, he's been injured. He's had an ankle
right,
problem.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate timing.
Well, even more so, then he's not going to start the season, is he? So, but he could be, if he's seen enough of him that he likes him, he can say, yeah, okay, you can grow into the season. But I agree, it looks like he's not going to go for an out-and-out number 9. I do feel Chelsea need goals. I do think the number 9 can take 15 goals on the shoulders. I've said who I think they should go for. You're asking a lot of a fluid front 3 of a Liverpool and a City of previous years when they're ironically going the other way.
Let's move on from Chelsea because otherwise we're going to spend the whole half hour
Just
talking
a quick
about
one, though. Bubba Rahman did play in a friendly alongside Ruben Loftus-Cheek earlier this summer, so he is still a Chelsea player.
Okay.
Good news. Newcastle. Really interesting case study, Newcastle, because I think some people expected them to really break the bank this summer. That hasn't happened. I think they've made shrewd Eddie Howe-type signings. Nick Pope coming in for a relatively modest fee, being paid in instalments, as we know, to Burnley. Matt Targett making his loan move permanent. They've got Sven Botman, who I think was their big target this summer. They're still looking to bring in 2 players. They want a forward as a backup option to Callum Wilson, as we know, has injury problems. They want another wide player as well, maybe, because they could be open to offers for Alain Saint-Maximin. The name that was mentioned to me yesterday was that of Maxwell Cornet, we've spoken a lot about over the last month or so. He's got a £17.5 million release clause in his Burnley contract, so wouldn't be particularly expensive. Everton have had a loan bid rejected. They've signed Dwight McNeil now, so you wonder if they will come back in again. I think Nottingham Forest have inquired. Would he be a good addition for Newcastle?
Yeah, but why would they be open to offers for Saint-Maximin?
I think to raise some funds. And also,
Newcastle need to raise funds.
Well, they're working within this strict structure. They've got a certain budget, and the only way that budget will go up is if they do sell players. So again, I don't know if this has been led by the Saudis or by Eddie Howe himself, or maybe a combination of the two, but they aren't going to be splashing hundreds of millions of pounds.
Why would it be prudent for them to get rid of Saint-Maximin? It wouldn't, would it? He's a key player, isn't he?
And someone who, you know what he does in a Newcastle shirt. He's a fan's favourite. He can almost be a leader in that team. Certainly one of them as well. So I don't get that one. I mean, I like...
Eddie has been talking about Alain Saint-Maximin in the last 7 days. I think he sort of started talking about how much he expected from him this season.
I think it would take a big bid, but there are Premier League clubs circling, so it's just one to keep an eye on.
If you're Newcastle right now, what a moment to be part of the Newcastle project. And as a player, but definitely as a manager and the hierarchy, you do not let your best players go.
Here's a question. So at the moment you can see Eddie Howe making his mark on the team. He is leading the recruitment. They won't sign a player without his say-so in their sort of steady Eddie signings, for want of a cliche. Can they get to the level where the owners want to get under that model, or eventually is Eddie perhaps going to have to come out of his comfort zone, start paying bigger wages, start signing superstars?
What's the level that they want to get to, and what's the time frame for that? That's the key thing, isn't it? Because as far as I understand it, their approach is to try and build very slowly towards achieving ultimate success, so that they can sustain it once they get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key thing. The ultimate answer is yes, but do you go for it now? And if you do, then you're bringing in players that perhaps are going purely for the money. You know, once you see the project going, what Eddie did last season was nothing short of sensational. I still wasn't sure with the defensive record that he had at Bournemouth that he could keep Newcastle up. I mean, kept Newcastle up. He was absolutely amazing, wasn't he?
And he coached that team out
absolutely. So it wasn't just the players that came in. He made the players that are already there a lot better.
Absolutely.
So I think the steady Eddie approach is the right one. But at some point, and within the next year or two, they're going to have to start offering big bucks for big players.
It's that balance, isn't it, of breaking the wage structure without breaking the harmony in the dressing room.
But it's
not
about
always
character.
easy.
It's about the players' character. So they will go, I'm sure Eddie Howe will go 100% behind knowing what this player is like. Does he feel that he's going for the money? And if he is, he won't touch him.
Exit from Arsenal, Nuno Tavares joining Marseille on loan. Hasn't really recovered, has he, from being hauled off against Nottingham Forest in that FA Cup tie?
That's not what he says. He says that it was a good thing for him, and he listened to Mikel Arteta and improved as a result of that.
Which is why he's being shipped out on loan.
I just don't think he really fit, to be honest with you. He wasn't good enough to play in that Arsenal team, and when Tierney wasn't in it, they were very exposed down that side, and I think that ultimately it just hasn't worked out for him. But Zinchenko obviously available to play in that position, but also play in midfield, and you've got Tierney who when he is fit, he's an excellent left full-back, so they've got enough cover in that zone.
I was surprised to see City let him go.
Zinchenko.
I don't want to ever question Pep, but very, very good player. He's more than just a left back.
Don't question Pep because he will eviscerate you.
Are they winning the window, Arsenal, at the moment? I think they've made a couple of really shrewd additions.
Tottenham have done well.
Apparently Jesus has been sensational in Arsenal training.
No, North London, both of them have done really, really well so far, and that's why.
How does that make you feel?
Not good. It's slightly worried.
How's your bet? You had a bet, didn't you? You had a bet? You had a bet?
You know I had a bet because it was with you about that Spurs would. You said Spurs would finish above Chelsea.
I did, yeah.
Which is a disgrace on your behalf.
It is a disgrace, but it is worth quite a lot in terms of
the meal.
The meal. So
I'm scared about where we're going now.
Oh, you should be.
I'm still going to go for Chelsea third.
I think it's about the 48th floor across the road here.
That's okay. That's no worries.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.